Good morning. Welcome back to my home workout room. Right now it's flooding here in Tennessee, so it's joyous to be inside. Nothing to do outside. Today I'd like to talk about one of the fitness people I follow. Recently I watched a review of Thomas DeLauer by Everyday Shredded Science or something like that. Thank you for choosing my channel. I'm Rondell, just an ordinary guy and also a truck driver who's gone 5 days a week. I have struggled with weight and fitness for years. I've made a big adjustment in prioritizing my health and have seen great results from the path that I have now chosen to take. Please watch as I tell you where I have failed and where I have succeeded. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment below. And now, back to today's video. Thank you. And he had some good points that Thomas DeLauer's information is not exactly applicable to everybody. And as I complain about constantly, he's a little bit easier to relate to because he started out as a big guy and got really thin. But now he does YouTube fitness for a living, and I do have to say his information is very, very specialized. I go to his page primarily to get very detailed information on things, but I don't think it hits the big picture of exactly everything that you need to do to start. He's got some great information on fasting and what it could potentially do, but honestly, just fasting is going to reduce your calorie count and that's going to help you lose weight. Yeah, it could increase autophagy. Yes, it could do things to mitochondrial. There's great studies that say all this. But if you're just starting, hey, not eating 10 times a day is a great first start. So, one of the things I find in, I'm reviewing Thomas DeLauer, but this actually goes to a bigger picture in the entire fitness industry on YouTube, is that some of the detail gets very, very specific, and most of it is not applicable to someone like me. Someone who's got an extremely busy schedule, who's 40-ish, who's not going to be a bodybuilder, who's not looking for a physique. I'm just looking to get back to health. I'm looking to get away from my unhealthy food habits. I'm looking to drop the weight off of me and to get physically strong. And if I look good along the way, great. That's awesome. But that's not the biggest goal. I've reached that age where I got friends and coworkers dropping like flies from all different kind of metabolic diseases. And just recently had a coworker who's losing parts of his foot because of diabetes. Had a coworker not all that long ago, a little bit older, seemed to be in better health than me, dropped from a heart attack and not recovered. And other friends and coworkers and people I went to high school with, and if you're 40-ish, 50-ish, 60-ish, 70-ish, this is happening a lot. More so than when you were 20 or 30. And sometimes it scares you. But we come to this forum looking for answers, and we get so many details we get lost and washed over. So I wanted to talk about some of the ways I use this information and some of the ways I don't. I really like Thomas's DeLauer station just to watch, but I want to make sure that you understand his is the 1%. He's got great information on how you should do keto and why you should do this and why you should do that. Keto, intermittent fasting, and how to break a fast and all this. And if you want to take that information and incorporate some of it, great. But I do highly suggest that you consider it the 1%, the 2% of what's going to be successful. The hard work is going to make you successful. The watching what you eat and sticking to a plan and watching your calories in, calories out is going to make a difference. Put it to you this way. When you're working at the dead-end job for minimum wage and you're driving a beater, just changing the oil is a good thing. Putting in racing oil or racing fuel might make it run just a little bit better, but probably fixing the leaks in that old beater car is going to be more important. Thomas DeLauer's channel is kind of that. It's the high-end stuff, the stuff that might make the tiniest bit of difference to the elite Some of it's great information even for beginners, but some of it is way out there. And it's study and it's science, and I like to listen to it to incorporate anything that doesn't take away from my effort. When I only have a certain amount of money, a certain amount of time, and a certain amount of effort, you need to put 100% of that to the basics. Now, I'm in a little bit better job, so I have a little bit better income, so I put a little bit more into grass-fed, grass-finished meats and grass-fed butters, and I put a little bit more money into high-quality other foods that we're taking in. But that's not how we started. We started by when we started with keto, just by cutting carbs and eating whatever the heck we had in the fridge that wasn't carbs and what we could afford. Now, time, I have very minimum time, as you all know. So my time can't be devoted to anything that might give me 1% results. It has to be devoted to the absolutely most result-driven things. So for that, Jeff Cavalier over there at Athlean X, what he's telling you, that's the stuff, and that's why I watch that. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other people here on YouTube that are giving great information, but if it sounds like whatever they're saying is very detail-oriented and very adding on to the basics, get the basics down first. Forget the elite stuff. The elite stuff isn't going to get you there. You got to do the hard work first. And then you can start looking at the elite stuff. So as much as I enjoy Thomas DeLauer's information and all the detail and all the studies, I also understand 90% of the stuff I really can't do yet. Hey, maybe in the future when I have more time to put in the effort, more availability, and I have, ripped and shredded and I want to get 1% more out of it, I'll listen to some of that stuff and do some of it. For now, hey, if his suggestion is there might be a chance that doing cardio in a fasted state might push blood into the stomach, I was going to do cardio anyway, so might as well do it in a fasted state, right? And I do cardio a couple times a week. That's what I'm talking about. I take the information, I apply it to me, as long as it doesn't interfere with getting the basics down, getting the diet down, and getting the exercise in that is the most important part. And then you can apply the science of the extras. And there's a whole bunch of people who do this stuff. Gravity Transformation's got some great information, but some of it is above and beyond what's the basics. So do what works best for you. Find your niche. And understand that if you are going to, I always suggest you get a personal trainer, but understand if you're going to get a personal trainer, if you're going to buy into a program, you need to understand it. And it better cover the basics. And if it promises you the world and the moon, it's probably snake oil. Anyways,